Okay, YouTube, Survivor Johnny here. We've had a freak snowstorm. It's actually pretty cold. We're going into my barn. Sorry, I have no lights in here. This is just a concrete block barn. I'm going to show one of these Monster Can center fire stoves. Let me see, I got to get it in frame. Okay. First, what I'm going to do is just get a video going with some to show its flame. Let me pause this. Alright. I think this should be recording again. Now, this is a full-sized Monster Can, and this is made out of one of those little skinny Monster Cans. So I'm going to pour some alcohol in it. Alright. Sorry guys, trying to hold the iPad while I film is not easy. Alright. Now, let me light this. Alright, it's really very cold, so it's going to take a second longer for this thing to fire up right. However, when I make them, let me grab one of these for an example. You can see that I always put insulation from your attic, just that regular pink Owens Corning insulation, goes inside the can, and then I use half-inch hardware cloth. Well, I'm sorry, this is half-inch hardware cloth right here, but this is quarter-inch hardware cloth that I put in there to contain the insulation, you know, keep it from spilling out. You can see it in the lit can as well. Now, what that does is it's kind of a safety feature. When you've got these alcohol stoves lit, you know, you tip them over, it's a Molotov. But I could take this one and tip it over. You can see no flame spilling out, nothing spilling out. Alright, so as it fires up, that flame is actually going to get kind of tall. It usually gets about 6 inches. I'm going to grab a sip of coffee here. Usually gets about 6 inches. Now that will shoot straight onto the bottom of a thin, of a skinny pot. You know, like something like the Stanley cook pot is not very big around on the bottom, the diameter. But if you've got something like a Seagull that's bigger, this stove works in two ways. You can kind of see, let me see if I can get it. See how these holes, the holes on the side of the neck of the can right here? These holes are intake holes in this configuration, the way it's sitting. And you can see how the blue flame, without getting my iPad too close to burn it, you can see how the flame is being drawn into those holes. Now, I'll put something on top of it. Let me just grab, I got like a million cans on this work table, so let me grab anything. Alright, now what I'm going to do is try to get an angle here. Okay, get this set up. Alright, now I'm going to put this on it. And you see how those all became jets. Alright, so now, instead of shooting a center fire, take that off, I don't want it to get too hot. There's no water in it to keep it cool. So that's the difference. When something is capping the top of it, these holes become the jets. When nothing is capping the top of it, then the top is a kind of like a jet engine blasting. And you can see how it kind of wraps the bottom of that really nicely. When this is on a pot stand above it, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do a lot of editing here. When that's on a pot stand above it, it allows it to just wrap the bottom. But when it's capping it, all those become jets. Alright, now to stop this and show you how to make it. Okay, looks like we're recording again. I'm going to have to keep trying to peek over and see what I'm looking at here, but I should be able to get down toward this screen. I hope I'm in frame. I can't really see. Okay, this is a regular Monster Can. What I do is I take a Sharpie, I sit the can, let me see if I can back this up and show you. Alright, let me back this up. And is that going to be in the video? Let's see. That's the frame right there that I'm capturing. Okay. To make my straight lines, I'll take a Sharpie and I'll hold it to the side of the can. Just basically hold it with the butt of the Sharpie down using my fingers, and I'll hold that angle, right? So I'll take the can and I'll hold the Sharpie still, and I'll just put the can in and twist the can like this. And that gives me, if you can see it, because it's black it'll be hard to see, but maybe you can see it across the, see how that's got a nice straight line there? going across. I don't know if you can really see it. I can see it well, but it's not going to film too good. Alright, so I'm doing the bottom, and I'm going to do the top. And just spin it around. The size of the can is going to be determined, the amount of fuel that the stove is going to hold will be determined by how large you cut it. This I went with maybe, let me get back over here, get out here where I can see. Okay, I went with about, I don't know, what's that, about 2 inches, something like that. Up on the top, you want to make it about the same. So if the bottom's 2 inches, the top should be about 2 inches as well. And what you're going to do is the bottom and the top are going to nest together. So, yeah, I always carry scissors. I'm kind of a freak show. I've got everything on me. But, alright, I'm just going to, real quick, I'm going to chop this in half to 2 pieces. Alright, now I can come down with the scissors, and following that line, you can see that I'm getting a nice cut here. See how nice that came out? Not a lot of burrs or nothing like that. Alright, and now the top, which, dang it, hold on. I didn't make them the same height. I'll be right back. Okay, you can see by the line going through the, I just had to move it from, I don't think you can see this line down here, but I moved it up to give myself the height that I wanted. Alright, now I'm going to cut this one off. Alright, now, the bottom and the top of the can are the same diameter, which makes it really hard to slip them on. But I got a trick for that, I'll show you in a second. So, I want the top of the can inside the bottom. And that's because if there's any dents along here, as the alcohol heats up, it could jet out of here. A lot of people will actually make these cans on purpose with dents that are spaced around, so that each of those dents, like see this dent? Each of those dents will become a jet. Alright, now, actually this one's beat up. It's been sitting in a box. If I go, I may have to do this one with this on the outside, because it's so beat up around here. I don't want all those jets. And if I do this with this on the outside and it's nice and smooth along here, from my inspection it's nice and smooth, so I think it'll probably be better. Okay, let me get some insulation and some hardware cloth. I'll be right back. Just real quick, I'm just showing you how blue that flame is. It's nice and tall. Can't find any hardware cloth. I might have to use a gutter screen or something else, but I'll be right back. Okay, and alright, sorry guys. Alright, so top and bottom, I got a bunch of different kind of stuff here. The idea here is you're using just junk that's probably in your shed. If you have to go to Home Depot, you can buy a gutter screen for just a couple of bucks. This works just fine. It's a gutter screen. I have hardware cloth too. I guess I would do this one out of gutter screen just to show you that you can. So this is a little heavier. That's why I usually use this. They both work just fine. Yes, they're galvanized. It doesn't matter. The first time you burn it off, do it outside. It'll burn off the poisonous gases that come off the galvanized. It's not going to be enough to hurt anything. Just do it in a well-ventilated area, and after it burns it off that first time, it's perfectly fine. Okay, so let me cop a squat here. Alright, what I'm going to do, this is pink insulation. Looks just like the stuff in your attic, because that's what it is. Alright, I'm just going to stuff it in. Like that. Take some scissors. I'm looking, this inner circle here is about the size of the screen that I want to use. So, I'm just going to cut a square off of this. A little thick for these scissors. Might be better with tin snips if you're going to use this stuff, because it's pretty thick. Alright, now I got to cut these corners off to kind of make it round. Like this. Let's check the fit. Fit's not too bad. See that? I think you can see that. Alright, so now, here's the trick. When you're putting the two cans together, like I said, typically this would go inside of this, but since this one's so beat up from just being in the trash can, it's got dents all in it. I don't want those to be jets, so I'm going to do it on this side. Taking my Gerber, I'm sure everybody has pliers, I'm going to pinch, I'm going to back it with my thumb so I can do a crimp. See how I did that? Now I'm going to, you can see this line, that'll be where the plier goes to do back and forth, in, out, in, out, in, out. By doing this all the way around, in, out, see how I'm crimping it like this is going to make them slide together better. Takes just a second to go around. Sorry, I'll probably edit this out because I hate 20-minute videos that people get bored. Attention span of Americans is very short, which that applies to me. All right. And I'm back to my starting point. Now, you can see how it's got this look to it. All right, that's what's going to allow it to go inside of here more easily. I'll just be able to fiddle that on. Boom. It's that easy. See how easy that went? Now I'm going to shove this down. See this dent? I don't want that dent. Before I push all the way down, this one right here is it's too much. So I'll put my finger in there and I'll kind of take some of that out. See how I did that? Fiddle it back on. Could be a little bit tricky. Yeah, went right on the first time, didn't it? Okay, I'm going to look around, see if I see any more dents when I'm pushing it down. So far it looks good. Got that big one, still came back. Well, I'm going to have to try to cover that because that's no good. But, oh, see that nipple right there? That's going to ruin everything. That one dented in way too far. So I'm just going to flatten it back out. Run my fingernail on that crease and kind of take it out. Back at it again. Try to push it on evenly to keep those from happening. Yep, got another one. Alright, well, I got that dent there. Don't like it. I'll show you a way to fix that with some silver tape. If I'd have done slower, you know, take your time, do it right. That old saying, nobody has time to do it right the first time, but everybody has time to redo it. So true. Alright, this is just regular, that HVAC metal tape. Holds up to this pretty well. So I'll just take this, put it on here. If I had slowed down, I could have avoided that, not had it at all. But I didn't, so now that old saying holds true. Nobody has time to slow down and do it right. Everybody has time to go back and fix it. All right, but that fixes it though. See, that dent is no longer going to be an issue, and that's fixed. I'm just going to stick this on there just because it's on my hand and I want to get rid of it. All right, now that's it. You can see in there the insulation. That's it. Now all you have to do is my 1/4-inch drill bit is, my cordless drill, I'm sorry, is up at the house. It's a couple hundred yards away. You just make a mark, find the center point, it's right about there, right? So we're going to pretend this Sharpie's a drill, and I'm going to be doing 1/4-inch holes. So it would come out about like that. So I'll do one here and one directly opposite here, right? And then I'll come find the center point of those two and do one here and one here. Alright, that's 4 holes. I want 8, so now I'll just go and I'll split the difference on these. These really don't have to be perfect. You know, it's going to function fine. If you're making one that people are going to be seeing your craftsmanship, slow down. Don't do it as quick as I just did that, and you'll be fine. So those would represent where I would drill the holes. Okay, and that's it. It's ready to pour alcohol in light once those holes are drilled. You saw how it worked on the other one. All right, thanks for watching. Ugh. Oh, also you can sand them. If you sand the can using steel wool or sandpaper, you can sand the paint off, and it's nice and shiny. Just aluminum color with no paint. Or you could come back and paint it with, any kind of paint that's going to, actually regular spray paint holds up to the temperature just fine. So it's not, it's not an issue to do it like that. Or you could just leave it. This right here will function just fine. Thanks. And hope you learned something there, Kev. That was just for you, buddy.